All right. It's a few minutes after 4. We may go ahead and slowly get started here. We may have some folks that will join in throughout, but it shouldn't interrupt our learning. If you yourself have to jump out at any point, feel free to do so. We do have these available, of course, afterwards. We also have multiple sessions per day and a lot of other resources that we'll cover in this and other trainings. So real quickly, we've got an agenda to help keep us on task. We're going to kick it off with a quick introduction to RevolutionParts, who we are, and how we intend to help you in e-commerce. We're also going to touch on some of the common pain points that we hear, of course, from your perspective, as well as from your customer's perspective when it comes to inventory. We're also going to do a live walkthrough in RevolutionParts to show you some of the different features we have available to improve your inventory messaging or customize your inventory, as well as how you can upload inventory. And then we'll wrap everything up with any additional questions from the group or helpful resources as well. Now, feel free, again, if you haven't had a chance to join one of our trainings before, to ask questions throughout. You can utilize the chat, which I'll be monitoring. You can also unmute and ask questions. Feel free to interrupt at any point along the way as well. Now, in regards to RevolutionParts, if you don't know a whole lot about us just yet, we were born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona. We've been in the industry since 2014, and we're an assortment of parts and automotive professionals, digital marketing masters, and e-commerce experts. Overall, in the time that we've been around, our goal is to help our dealers to save time, money, and headache, while also making money by putting their parts department online. To date, so far, we've been able to help our dealerships sell more than 1.5 billion in parts online with a B. So that is a huge number. We're extremely proud of that and for our dealers. This has helped us to become named by Google as of this year, 2020, as a premier partner, which is a title that 3% or less of businesses can state. So we're very proud of that as well. None of that is to be braggadocious in any way. It's just to help reinforce our partnership together as your e-commerce expert for automotive parts online. Now, in regards to myself, I'm Kristen. I'm part of the dealer advisor team, and you're typically going to see me in trainings like this, whether they're in larger sessions or one-to-one. Depending on your subscription plan with RevolutionParts, once you graduate from Ivy or Erica, you may be dedicated or move to a dedicated success manager. This individual will be one of my colleagues that will work with you directly on a regular basis to provide monthly and quarterly performance updates, as well as go over any growth strategies, opportunities to better utilize the platform, or to help with strategic planning. In addition to the success team, we've got an amazing support team based out of our home office in Arizona. They're available from 8 to 7 Eastern Standard Time by phone, email, or chat through RevolutionParts. Our support team is comprised of a lot of experts that have worked within the platform in a lot of different ways. They're a great resource for general questions, technical or troubleshooting help, but also escalated, urgent, or time-sensitive matters as well. Beyond the people piece, we have a 24/7 knowledge base built into RevolutionParts. We also share industry insights, case studies, and other information on our home website of revolutionparts.com, as well as on social media if you follow us. The knowledge base is essentially a living library that is going to provide you training materials for new members to your team or someone that's maybe just new to the e-commerce part of it. We also have product and setting guides, quick walkthrough videos, FAQs, and hundreds of articles and resources around topics directly related to RevolutionParts and our services, or related to e-commerce as a whole. 9 times out of 10, in fact, our dealers have actually told us they've been able to answer a question or solve a problem, even one that's slightly complex, in 10 minutes or less by visiting our knowledge base. So this is always a great resource to keep on hand. So when it comes to Revolution Parts and inventory, we understand that inventory is the reason why customers are coming to you both in the store and online. So we work with our solutions to help you optimize your online inventory to provide more information to your customers to help them be better informed. This will help to increase your order volume and their satisfaction while also reducing the likelihood of cancellations, returns, or refunds. A few of the methods we have to help that we'll cover in the demo will be DMS integration. In most cases, we can integrate directly with your DMS provider. This is an add-on option with Revolution Parts for most packages, so there may be an additional cost. These feeds are typically overnight, so they'll happen once daily. CDK has some additional features as well as the option to backfeed completed order information back to CDK through Revolution Parts. We also have custom messaging options within each of your selling channels so that you guys can show your customers quickly and easily what you have in stock and how many, as well as what may be back ordered or otherwise discontinued. Additionally, we work directly with your OEM provider. We also work with eBay Motors, which is one of the industry leaders in regards to automotive data. All of this information is used to help you guys inform your customer of potential delays or waits when it comes to inventory. In most cases, like with e-store programs, if you're on a Mopar e-store, Mercedes-Benz USA, or another affiliate with Revolution Parts, then we may already be receiving this data directly from your OEM. If not, we should be receiving it soon, but if you have any questions, you can reach out to the support team. Talking a little bit about product availability that we touched on earlier with backorder and discontinued, we also have some customized tools that will allow you guys to really do a lot of custom updates to your individual product listings. These can be done one at a time through the product screen or through the order screen, which we saw in a previous training session. These can also be done on a bulk basis. So you can update up to 15,000 part numbers at one time with different updates using our bulk upload tool. When it comes to inventory and best practices, I'm sure that you guys are already doing a lot of this, but it's always good just to reiterate. When it comes to inventory, the more updated, the better. This is good for search engines, particularly to see that a website has activity, that they're updating their information. This is also good for your consumers, again, to eliminate any potential friction where an item may not be on hand and has to be ordered. If we're not getting your inventory directly through a DMS connection or through your OEM, you will be able to upload it manually, which we'll cover. And we recommend that you do this daily at best, or at least twice a week. Other best practices for inventory are going to be the weights and dimensions. In previous sessions, we looked at a few different places that we can update this, particularly within a live order. This can also be done one-to-one or in bulk, and these help to improve the shipping estimations for you and your customers, as well as deliverability. If there's a circumstance where your dealership is working with more than one brand, which is fairly common, you should already have your brand set up on individual feeds within your DMS. If not, we can help you to do so. We can also set this up through specific warehouses within Revolution Parts to keep your brand separated and clean. Product availability and global attributes are something we touched on and we'll look at in the demo in regards to a best practice. This is a quick, easy way for you to inform your customers at all parts of their buying journey online, whether or not a part may be readily available or needs to be ordered or can be on backstock for a number of times. And lastly, we always recommend adding 3 to 5 pictures to your product listings when you can. Typically, we advise our dealers to take pictures as they're packaging up a part because typically it will be inspected or put into additional packaging such as bubble wrap, a UPS box, etc. Having quality pictures attached to your listings greatly improve the chances for conversion. In fact, 75% of online buyers have told us that their intent to buy is directly influenced by pictures as well as video. Oops, looking a little fast here. So from here, I want to jump into the demo. I know we had a couple of folks pop in. You haven't missed anything super crucial just yet, but do we have any questions or maybe any feedback from the group? And you can unmute if you would like. You can also utilize the chat. It won't offend me or hurt my feelings if you interrupt me, but I'll keep going for the sake of everybody's time. So with Revolution Parts, as we discussed, there are a couple of different ways that you can manage your inventory. This is going to include uploading it as well as updating it. If it's a circumstance where we are not automatically receiving your inventory through a DMS feed or from your OEM, then typically you're going to be updating your inventory manually. From your Revolution Parts dashboard, we'll go to the settings gear in the top right-hand corner to go to our admin view. We have two left-hand menus. The top left half is going to be related to our settings for your dealership and Revolution Parts. This is also going to include your users, your invoices, any integrations that you have set up within Revolution Parts, as well as other settings. From within this menu, we can choose bulk and imports for a variety of different purposes. Anything that you import or export from Revolution Parts will live within the platform for the life of our partnership. You'll also be able to download and view any of these files at any time. Common use cases will be if you're updating a customer list. If you're doing listings on eBay, Amazon, or Walmart, you do have the option to add some custom and dynamic content, which can be done through the bulk tool. Otherwise, this is also going to be used for making updates to your inventory, including product availability and global attributes. You can click on New Import. From here, we'll see a drop down to choose the upload type that we would like to use. As you can see, we have quite a few different options here. Each template is also, or each option, excuse me, is also going to provide you with a downloadable template just below that you must use. So be sure to save that to your computer. These templates and files are going to default to an Excel sheet, so be sure to look out on the bottom of your taskbar or on multiple windows if you have multiple displays. The product template will look just like this, and not all of the information is required. You can, as you can see, update the description for those products as well as weights and dimensions. Typically, cost and MSRP, although they do show on this form, need to be edited through a Revolution Parts admin with approval from the OEM. This can be done with a quick request to our support team if you notice where a part supersession or maybe a list or cost pricing was not captured when we did our monthly update with your OEM. You can also update your product availability, and this is great if you want to set a bunch of products to the same status or if you want to set products to different statuses. We'll cover these in the product screen, but a few examples will be marking something as available for sale. This will produce the add to cart button. You can also denote items that will be discontinued or otherwise not for sale, as well as on back order, either with or without an anticipated release date. You can also use easy, true, or false messaging within the template to be able to quickly identify items that are hazmat, may ship in their own box, are not returnable, or any other attribute. When you go to upload your file, it's going to default to all of your selling channels with Revolution Parts. You may have one selling channel, you may have 5 or 6. What you can do is choose your target store. So if anything that you're uploading will be to a particular market, maybe you want to make special pricing or information available to your local customers only through your storefront plugin, you can choose that here. Or if you'd like to add it to all stores, leave as is and click Upload File. The upload is fairly immediate. Obviously, the more numbers, the more information you have on there, the longer it may take, but this should update within less than 5 minutes. You can check the status here to the right, as well as refresh on this screen. Now, when it comes to adding inventory as a whole, we're going to go to our Products tab. If you don't already know, it's important to understand that the OEM catalog that we have in products and that is visible to your customers is from the OEM directly. So this is the master file. This will have everything. This also includes, unfortunately, anything that is no longer for sale or otherwise discontinued. In most cases, with your OEM, we should be getting that information directly. If not, these can also be updated at the dealership on a one-to-one or a one-to-many level. Before we jump into that, I'm going too fast. Let me jump back to inventory, but this is within our products tab. You hit inventory and upload. Our main screen will let us know what recent uploads we've had. If you have an automatic DMS feed or an OEM feed, you will see it here. The type will also show as either that brand or that DMS. Otherwise, if it was manually uploaded at the dealership, you will see the manual type here, as well as the size of the file, any potential errors or updates, and the option to download and view. From here, like with bulk imports, click on Upload Inventory File, the green button in the top right-hand corner. We will want to download the template if you have not already. And you guys will see that in comparison, this template is much more abbreviated compared to our master product template. Get him moved over here, which we have here. So part number and quantity, easy peasy. You can export from your DMS, you can export from QuickBooks or whatever software you may be using to monitor your inventory and simply cut and paste your part number and your quantity. With any report or file, we do also recommend that you name it something unique or really specific that's quick and easy for you to identify. Brand name and then the date you did the upload, for example, is a great way to do it. Once you have your file ready to go, simply select from the option here and upload. That was quite a bit in one little piece. So before we jump into the next part within products to do some editing and things of that nature, I want to take a quick check. Do we have any questions from the group or perhaps any feedback in regards to inventory management? You guys can utilize the chat or you can unmute. I'll be watching the chat, but I'll keep on going. All right. So with making edits to parts, it's very quick and easy. And just like with updating your inventory, it's going to be in real time. From the products page, you can either use one of the options over here on the left-hand side for predetermined categories. So everything that your OEM has designated as hazmat or oversized or discontinued will be segmented out here. You also have the option to be able to create custom inventory. So this could be lifestyle or boutique products. These could also be items that may not live in your DMS, such as overstock items, clearance or seasonal items. Those types of items will be dropped under managed parts. Now, you can either click on the part number or click on the pencil over to the right to make your edit, but either way, it's going to take us to the same page, which will be the product summary. Now, on the product summary page, it's going to default to all stores. Like we've seen on the dashboard when you first log in, or with orders, you can update to filter out by store if you want to make different product changes to different stores. Otherwise, it will default to all. I've got a part number that has a little bit prettier pictures we'll use than this light bulb. So let me get him pulled up. All right, so we've got an alternator here for a Camaro. We have some great OEM stock photos, and this is the OEM listing. You'll see that you can update the title. You can also update the description. The more information, typically the better, especially if it's something that can help to inform your customer related to maybe an installation setup, fitment, anything of that nature. You can also add pictures or link off to something different within the description. So we have some dealers that may use this to link off to an installation guide, a warranty guide for the part, or maybe some custom photos that are otherwise not uploaded. Weights and dimensions we see down here as well. So again, this is really important to double check when we're processing orders, when we're uploading inventory. You can update weights and dimensions by clicking on the pencil. Any of the updates that you make are immediate and permanent to your catalog and your catalog only. Weights and dimensions, again, are incredibly important when it comes to estimated shipping quotes for you and your customer, so always check your weights and dimensions. Your quantity on hand will depend on how you're set up. If you're connected to your DMS through RevolutionParts, or if we're getting your inventory from an OEM program like the Mopar eStore, Mercedes-Benz USA, or BMW Motorrad, then you will see your inventory here. You'll also see the last time that your inventory was updated, and we can check this throughout the inventory tab as we just saw in RevolutionParts. You can also make these changes immediately if you need to update your on-hand either one way or the other. This we'll cover in just a second. Product availability is going to be our next option. So this is going to allow us to quickly and easily mark items for our customers that are back ordered, discontinued, or otherwise not for sale. It's also recommended that if you have oversized items that you would like to sell, like wheels and tires, perhaps body parts or glasses, that you set those products to call for availability or call for price to give you the opportunity to work out the right shipping with a freight carrier. Global attributes can also be added or removed. So this is going to include letting your customers know that an item is hazmat. Maybe we need to mark that item as non-returnable because it's an electrical component. We can also let them know if it's going to ship in its own box. A lot of these items, of course, come in an OEM or manufacturer box, and you may be affixing your shipping label to that directly as opposed to packing it into a separate box with additional materials through your shipping carrier. You can also mark items as local pickup only, as well as VIN check recommended. VIN check is going to allow your customers to see throughout the buying process and at checkout that they need to enter a VIN to be able to complete their purchase. There's also going to be a purple VIN check icon on your order processing that is dealer facing. So as your countermen are processing orders, they have an additional reminder to check the VIN. Over to the left, while we cannot update MSRP or cost from here, you can make changes to the core charge, as this does vary by state and by brand as well. So as always, like with most of our tools within RevolutionParts, you want to make sure that you hit Save Changes up in the top right. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and we will look at this part number on the customer-facing website. All right. So based off the information that we have in this product listing right now, we can see that the title has been enhanced. We can also see the pricing our customers will receive. These are dictated by your pricing settings. We have an upcoming training session for pricing and shipping. However, if you have upcoming calls with Ivy or Erica, I would encourage you to ask about this. Core charges, if applicable, will also show here below the sales price, and we have a quick little cheat sheet for your customers that may not be familiar with this type of charge. Most are, but again, you may have retail and DIY customers coming to your websites that don't have as much information or experience and may have questions. Your inventory quantity will show here, so we'll make some changes so you can see how that looks. You can also create custom inventory messaging for out of stock, as well as the option for your customers to still be able to add that item to the cart or not if you have 0 on hand. Additionally, any of the global attributes that we add will display down here as well as at the checkout. So I'm just going to go back to this page in RevolutionParts. I'm going to make a couple of updates. I'm going to revert the title back to what it was before. I'm also going to update our quantity on hand and mark this as non-returnable, ships in its own box, and VIN check recommended. Let's do local pickup too. We'll hit save. This is just going to let us know that it's going to update all of our stores. Go back to the customer-facing website and refresh. So now we can see that the title has changed from what was in there previously. We also have an orange banner here to let this customer know that this item is local pickup only, as well as the area. Like with pricing, this is going to be set up in your shipping settings in RevolutionParts by radius from your dealership. We can also see now that my out of stock messaging has disappeared. So instead of saying check back soon, we can see that there are 15 of these in stock. This option already existed. I didn't touch on it, but we have the VIN check. So I already know that this part is not going to fit my vehicle because I have a 2006 Trailblazer. But just so we can all see how it looks, your customer puts in their VIN or their fitment and it doesn't match, then they will be given that messaging here. Now, if you want to make any of these changes to one product or multiple products in bulk, you'll be able to do it through the bulk template that we looked at earlier. So you'll be sure to put in your part number, the brand, and then the name of the part. Product availability is going to start at column Q. So again, you can select any of these options, whichever is appropriate. If it's back order, you can also set a date. What that will do for you is it will show this item as on back order and not allow your customer to add it to the cart until the drop dead date that you set in RevolutionParts. Excuse my secretary. All right, so we will go back here. I'll make him back order until the end of this month. We will go back here and refresh. Now, because I have 15 in stock, it's not going to display the back order messaging. If we go back into RevolutionParts, we can change our inventory back to 0. We'll refresh one more time. And now we can see that the back order messaging is up and the customer does not have the option to add this to their cart. To get to those types of settings, we'll use the settings gear to get back to our admin view. On the left-hand side, under your selling channels, each of your stores have their own unique settings for pricing, for shipping, and other tools. Choose the appropriate selling channel. You can go down to checkout, customer groups, inventory, and policies to update important information regarding your inventory, whether it's shipping times or return times. You can also click on inventory messaging to enable your inventory visibility to your customers, as we saw. This is also where you'll be able to update your out of stock messaging and when you would like for it to show. You can also set up cutoff times to help inform your customers as to when they can anticipate their items to ship or be delivered. These times are informed by your warehouse tab within your individual store settings. That wraps it up for the live demo piece. We have one last slide, and I do want to get some questions. I know we're 1 minute over time. We did start a few moments late just to give folks a chance to join in. Before we wrap things up, do we have any questions or any feedback from the group? You guys can unmute. You can use the chat if you like. If you have no questions, that's cool too, because I know they will come. So all that said, in regards to your inventory with Revolution Parts, it's really key to keep in mind the best practices that we spoke about earlier, as well as making time to enhance your listings with product availability and other information for your customers. As we spoke about at the top of the training, we do work with most DMS providers. We have a list here. If you don't see your DMS provider, please reach out to our support team and inquire. It may be a partner that's already on our roadmap, or we may be able to get your inventory through a third party, such as Dealer Vault. You can also do custom and manual inventory uploads. So this can be inventory that you have on stock that is going to align with the OEM catalogs. You can also create and upload custom categories or products for items that are no longer in your inventory, may be discontinued or otherwise unidentified. Last but not least, if you are going to be selling on any third-party marketplace like eBay, Amazon, or Walmart.com, they do require all of their sellers to sell from on-hand inventory only. So we will require that you have a DMS integration or that you agree to update your inventory daily via manual. It's not a difficult process, as we saw, but as your volume grows and your customer market share grows as well, the DMS is certainly a feed that will pay for itself very shortly. And that is all we have for inventory management and Revolution Parts. Do we have any final questions before I let you guys go? Give it just a second here if anyone wants to hit anything in the chat. If not, you're all free to get back to business. Thank you so much for taking time to join the training session today. We have more coming up. All of this, as well as what we do with Revolution Parts, is for you guys ultimately. So please give us your feedback, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Thank you guys again for your time and attention today. Have a great day and happy selling. You're welcome, Freddie. Thank you.